Grid's face was as pale as a sheet. His mind raced, doing the terrible math.
Even though I'm fully equipped, my health is only 34 because of the penalties. These guys will kill me if they just breathe on me too hard.
He crouched, covering his head with his hands, a statue of despair.
Shit! I barely managed to steal myself and made a comeback. And yet, you're killing me already?
His panic was interrupted by a heavy thud and a wet gargle right beside him. The priest who had leaped for his throat collapsed in a heap, a throwing knife buried deep in his forehead, his eyes wide with shock. Nearby, two more sorcerers rushed Doran, screaming,
"Heretic!"
The guardian moved with fluid, deadly grace. He sidestepped their clumsy attacks, his hands a blur. Two more knives flashed through the dim air, and two more bodies hit the floor. He was a whirlwind, a dancer of death, dispatching the next group of sorcerers before they could even raise their weapons. Grid watched, his shock momentarily overriding his fear.
He's so strong. Who knew you could move like that in such a tight space?
A tiny, foolish spark of hope ignited.
Maybe, if I'm lucky, I won't die here.
That hope was quickly extinguished by the sound of aggressive shouts and the clatter of armored footsteps echoing from a tunnel behind them. Several more priests poured out of a side passage, their masked faces instantly locking onto Grid.
"Kill the heretics!"
So much for luck.
Grid thought, his pallor returning. Doran leaped back, his back now pressed against Grid's armored form. "If we continue like this, we will be overwhelmed," he said, his voice low and urgent. "I understand now. You want to finish this quickly and not waste time on these small fry."
What? No, that's not what I...
Grid began to protest, but it was too late. Before he could finish, Doran shoved him forward, directly over the edge of the ledge they were standing on.
Ah! I'll die! I'm gonna die!
Grid screamed as they plummeted into the darkness below. "Not quite," Doran replied, his voice calm and focused. He held out his hand that started glowing with a soft magical light. The spell, Float, took hold, and Grid's frantic fall stopped abruptly, leaving him hovering just a few centimeters from the hard stone floor. Doran landed beside him with the grace of a cat. "A simple spell to prevent a fall," Doran explained, a hint of amusement in his voice. "You are very modest if you consider this something special." Grid glared at him, his heart hammering against his ribs.
You have serious communication problems.
He then let out a shaky sigh of relief.
But... thank you. I'm still alive because of you.
"Now, it is time to show the power you've been hiding," Doran said, his tone now filled with conviction. "The true mission begins now." They looked toward the center of the chamber. The remaining priests had formed a protective circle around Irene, their hands raised as they chanted in unison. A vortex of dark, purple energy began to swirl above the altar, sucking the light from the room. Grid gritted his teeth.
They're casting some kind of witchcraft.
"Dark magic," Doran confirmed, his voice grim. "It will be problematic if we do nothing." With a sharp swish, Doran's knives flew true, striking down several of the chanters and disrupting their rhythm. But one priest, his eyes burning with a fanatical zeal, shouted to the others,
"Buy us time! Don't let them aim!"
The remaining priests rushed Doran. Grid watched, a plan forming in his mind.
He's handling them easily, even in a 150 temple. If this keeps up, I might actually clear this quest thanks to him.
A wide grin spread across his face.
In that case, I should support my partner.
He waved a hand enthusiastically, like a cheerleader at a gladiator match.
You can do it, Doran. You're my hope and support.
Doran, mid-dodge, shot him a look of pure, unappreciative bewilderment. It was in that moment of distraction that the sorcerers completed their spell. A concentrated beam of dark energy lanced out, striking Doran square in the chest. "Ugh!" He screamed, his body seizing as his eyes rolled back into his head, racked by the foreign corrupting power. Grid's cheerfulness vanished, replaced by an instant panic.
Okay, time to take that back. Maybe they're hiring? How does one become a servant of Yatan?
The lead dark mage laughed, a hollow sound behind his mask.
"This is the fate of all heretics."
But then, Doran's trembling form began to steady. His eyes snapped back into focus, burning with a fierce golden light. I will protect the family I serve, until my last breath. A brilliant, golden aura erupted from him, pushing back the oppressive dark energy with a powerful whoosh until it dissipated into nothingness. Grid stared, jaw slack.
He broke through black magic? He must be a named NPC.
The priests, enraged, began preparing another spell. But this time, Doran was ready. He drew 2 new knives, and they crackled with arcs of blue-white lightning.
Those who dare attack the Steen family will never be given a second chance,
he declared, his voice thunderous with authority. He hurled the infused blades. The sorcerers recoiled in fear.
Ha! Avoid them!
But then, a shimmering magical shield was raised. The lightning knife struck it and bounced off into harmless sparks. Doran looked on in surprise.
A shield?
A low, melodic laugh echoed through the chamber, freezing everyone in place.
You have such good fortune today.
Grid's eyes were drawn to the source of the voice. A woman descended the staircase, her long purple dress flowing like a shadow behind her. It was adorned with red and black feathers that gave her a dark, regal air. In her hand, she held a staff that looked less like a tool and more like a living nightmare. She smiled, a predator's expression.
You cannot go any further. Protecting this ritual is my S-level quest.
Her gaze swept over Doran and then settled on Grid. Her interest piqued.
I never imagined the named NPC and you would be my enemies. My blood hasn't boiled like this in a long time.
She narrowed her eyes, the crystal in her staff pulsing with hungry light.
Will you be a worthy adversary to me, Yura, the Blood Witch?